Happy Monday, Festival Tales fam. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us today. Today we got a nice Thunderdome. I almost said Thundercat. A Thunderdome recap from Babs. But before we get into it, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, all the things. We appreciate all of your guys' support. You can now rate us on Spotify, which would be so amazing if you could take 1 second to do that. You can also see video now on Spotify, which is pretty dope. And we also are now on YouTube and TikTok if you want to go give us a follow over there. As always, we are on Instagram as well. And in the show notes on Instagram, linked on our bio, you can submit your anonymous stories. The little dinosaur.
Yeah. Oh no! Every time he
falls. But yeah, submit your anonymous stories to us. Definitely look back on your festival season last year or years past and submit any memorable, cute, weird, crazy festival story you have. Just remember they are anonymous, so we love reading these stories and we want to keep reading them to you guys. And festival season 2022 is right around the corner, so as you are going throughout your festivals, definitely be thinking about the stories to submit to us, and we definitely appreciate it. Last but not least, this episode is brought to you by Stagehopper. So if you go to stagehoppers.com, you can find our content there, as well as other EDM and festival related content. They also have a news section, so you can stay up to date with everything going on, EDM and festival related. So I think that I covered all of it, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
No, nailed it.
So let's chat about Thunderdome then.
Ooh, yeah, Thunderdome. Wow. There's a lot to say. A lot of great things. I'm gonna start from the beginning. So I will say this was not a planned event. I was not. There was like nothing in my scope of going, and then a buddy of mine hit me up and was like, "Hey, I think a bunch of us are gonna go to Thunderdome. Are you in? Or are you not in?" And at first I said yes, and then prices just looked ridiculous. As some of you know, on the East Coast, I know a lot of my East Coast ravers were there. It's very expensive to fly out west. It just is. And I was looking at like I think it was like $500 flights to go for only that I was going to go for like 3 days because I couldn't take off all the PTO. And I was like, yeah, I'm not paying 500. That's like, that's half of rent, if not more. It's depending on where you are. For me, that's half of my rent. And I'm like, I'm not spending half my rent on a plane, just the plane ticket, not including ticket, not including Airbnb, not including food. I was like, that's too expensive. But
where was it to?
It's you fly into Seattle. Okay. And the Thunderdome itself is in Tacoma, Washington, but you fly basically into the Seattle Tacoma airport. But lo and behold, 2 weeks before, I like checked I was like, let me just check Google Flights this random morning, and it was Tuesday morning, and I looked, and for somehow my flight dropped to $180, and I just immediately got on the phone and called my buddy. I was like, is that spot still open? He was like, yeah, you're good, come on. And so I just bought everything right there that morning, sent it. Took a little while to find some tickets. Shout out Bree. I don't actually know your last name, but I know you from Twitter. Shout you out if you're listening, because you helped me get a ticket. I greatly appreciate that. And we're set. We're in the Thunderdome. So it's Thunderdome itself. It's held at night, Friday, Saturday. Excision will play both nights. For those of you who don't know, he's the big headliner of the event. The dome is I'm trying to figure out where I want to start here. It was freezing out for starters. So like the line, we had to wait in line. It was cold. That's probably the only bad thing about the whole event, which is nothing into their control. But like, you're just outside because you want to get in first. You either want to go get merch or you want to just get a spot close. That it's like freezing out. And bless you, rave girls, in your rave outfits, because some of you were out there being troopers. Like, I swear I saw at least 5 girls with just they had their rave outfits on, they're looking cute, and they got their just pashmina over, and it's 40 degrees and windy. And it was rainy on the first day too, because Seattle's known for its rain, of course, but it was rainy on the first day. And I was like, I was bundled up. I had like long john. I'm from Florida, so I'm a little weak when it comes to the cold, but I had long johns, I had my pants, I had like 3 layers, then my jacket, and I was feeling great. But it was cold for even me. So bless y'all for that. lines, though, moving people in, they were quick, great with that, I will say. When you're in the event, you walk in on the second floor and you don't see, it's really weird. They have it all roped off. You don't see like anything until you're like halfway. Like, you know how stadiums have the round walkway you can go around. So you like walk halfway and then there's one opening on each side. And then there's the stage that everyone can sit at and you can get videos from. And then you walk down into the actual floor. They have the whole floor open. So they push back all the extendable bleachers are all up. The whole floor is open. They make the one side, the whole stage. And then they have the back end, which is some bleachers that you can sit at if you so choose. So first night was Vampa into I forget to actually, I don't have it written down. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare. My other phone has it on it as my lock screen still, but it's charging across the room, so I'm not gonna go get it. I'm sorry. But yeah, I can pull it up. I can also do that.
I was gonna say I could pull it up too.
Give us 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up.
The Thunderdome. I don't know. That's it. The one I was reading, it was in all caps. Okay, so Friday was Genie. Did you see Genie?
Yeah, so we got in right at the beginning. So we saw Genie, Vampa, Yuki back-to-back, Calcium, Bear Grylls, Eptic, Blunts and Bonds back-to-back, Riot 10, and then Excision, of course. I was in line for merch, which heads up to everyone. If you're wanting merch, it is quite the long line. They do run out of stuff. Like day 2, they had a ton of stuff that was already down, so they don't like restock. It's like is first come first serve, which I didn't even know that, but I got lucky. I just was like, oh, I'm gonna go get merch. So that's a recommendation I'll tell you guys. If you want something from Thunderdome, go first. You might have to wait in line. You might wait a long time. I know I didn't get done until probably Vampa came on, truthfully, but the line is on the main floor, so you're kind of in the crowd anyways. While you're waiting, so you get to hear the music and everything. You're not missing anything.
Was this like the second time he did this event, or is this something he's been doing it for a while?
It's something he's been doing for a while. Truthfully, I don't know the history of it because in my head I've like never even thought I'd go there because it's literally like the farthest point across the country besides Alaska for me to go to, or Hawaii. Like it's like exact opposite of where I live, so I just never thought I'd even go until this occurred. But it
looks like he had it in 2018.
I would have swore he had it. Yeah, he definitely had it in 2019 because he has the YouTube like visual experience that he put out. Which truthfully, I watched that. Me and my buddies watched that, and that was like the whole reason we wanted to go. The like YouTube thing looked crazy. I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that, y'all. My lovely light fixture just decided to fall. Great. We'll get a blooper reel going because I feel like this happens all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought Vampa was very good. I've only seen her. This is my first time seeing her, but I've seen videos and stuff. Thought she was pretty hype. Yuki back-to-back Calcium. Interesting back-to-back. I felt like there was a lot more Yuki songs than Calcium. So I don't know if Calcium was just trying newer experimental type stuff, but it seemed to be more of what Yuki tends to play, like deep, heavy, drawn out bass. But I did like it. He always has some cool edits that he comes up with. Like he did a Rez Edge edit of his, like with their beat. They did the Do It To It that kind of blew up. They had their own version of it.
Yeah.
Check out my TikTok. Okay. And then they had a few others that they like, the Iron Man one that's gone viral too. Like they've got a few that they definitely hit well with. Bear Grylls, that was an interesting set to me because when he started, his visuals like weren't going. I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but it was just the lights. And I should make a note before I get way too ahead of myself. For all the opening acts, they do not do the full production. It's only Excision that gets the full production. So for the opening acts, it's all the lights. They get the main screen behind them with the visuals. They don't get all the other visual screens. And then they get just the lights that are around. So there's no lasers, nothing. But Bear Grylls was just the lights for a little bit. His visuals eventually came back on, but then a few of them, me and my group at least swore that it was the same ones that Yuki and Calcium had. So I don't know if there was something that happened. So that was really interesting, but nonetheless, still threw down. Eptic came on. If you haven't seen Eptic, because I know some people in my group hadn't, highly recommend to go check him out if you're into heavy dubstep, especially some old school dubstep. He absolutely killed it. In my opinion, best set of day one besides Excision. So he definitely recommend going to see him if you haven't. Riot 10 back-to-back Blunts and Blondes. Riot 10 was unable to make it. There was some flight issues, so it was just Blunts and Blondes. I'm hit or miss on Blunts and Blondes, to be honest with you, but his set at Thunderdome I thought was really good. And he looked like he had some newer visuals that at least I hadn't seen from previous sets. So it was a little bit, it was better. It was definitely all around better than what I've seen in the past. Can't hate too much on my Florida boy from Tampa, but yeah, I can say that that enough. Then let's get to the main event, which was Excision. And truthfully, it was crazy. Not interesting. It was just crazy. Like I knew the production would be just insane, but I just didn't know to what level it would be. And you see the videos and you're like, oh, that's crazy. Like, look at the lasers. But like to be in it is entirely different. Like it was something where we were all just like, everyone I looked at was just like, what is going on? Like in a good way, not in a bad way. But
yeah.
So my friend groups, some of them like to be up front and some of them like to be in the back. And I just happen to be that guy that likes to just roam around. So I was actually in both spots throughout the set. I started out in the back because I wanted to see the full production from the back. And I will say at Thunderdome, I don't blame anyone for going up front. Matter of fact, I had more fun going up front. The energy up there is way different than in the back. But I was in the back of the floor. So I wasn't in the bleachers, but I was on the floor and in the back. And you do get the full spectrum of production. And when you're in the back, he has not only lasers coming from the front, but all from the sides. So he's got like something hanging. I don't know what it's called. I'm not well versed in this category, but like he's got like
you're not a lighting tech.
Yeah, I'm not, but he's got something suspended where there's lasers on the side. And if there's like a thin board, which I put a video up where you can see there's like a board around the floor and it's where the lasers are hitting, but there's one
on your side. TikTok.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
I'm gonna go look.
To the first video, you can see where the lasers shoot in. And so that's like the reason I think they have that is so if you are on the bleachers and you're sitting, the lasers aren't smacking you in the face. They hit this board and they stop. But you still get to see everything if you're in the bleachers. But from the floor, you're in the middle. We were in the middle on the floor in the back. You get the lasers from the front and the lasers from the side all coming in. So you're getting the full production without anything. Yeah, without anything in the way.
I see.
Yeah, I don't have a way of
crazy.
Did we convert you? Are you no longer a house head? Was it that simple?
I will go. Well, I would go. Yeah, I mean, I would go. I've been to an Excision set before. I've been to a couple Excision sets. I don't know if I would go to Thunderdome because like Seattle, cold, wet. I don't know. It would be cool to go to an Excision curated event, honestly, just because I would be very interested about the vibes. Like I've said, I would go to Lost Lands if I could just go for one day. I would do it.
We can make that happen.
I don't know.
I think we can make that happen. Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, the production looks crazy, honestly. So it was like this diamond kind of thing and then going out.
The stage was, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, different than his usual curated X. That's at least what he had the past year. So I think, again, I'm semi only like 3-4 years into the scene, just became an Excision fan, believe it or not, in the last like 5-6 months. And I feel like he does, like Thunderdome is where he launches his newer stuff for the upcoming year. I could be wrong about this, but that's what my hunch is and what I've observed.
Yeah.
But like he does like newer edits or new songs, plays new songs he likes, new songs he has, premieres some new visuals, and also has like a newer stage that he premieres. So that's my 2 cents on the stage. But yeah, it was a nice diagonal, and they had the main screen, and then they had screens kind of on the side where like some of the small like minute features of his visuals would be showcased. Like if there was like a piston in like the main one, there'd be pistons on like the side. I don't know how to really explain it besides that, but stuff like that.
That makes sense. You had 21K on a TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, for
That's
the
crazy.
Excision one. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and your Yuki one did well too.
Yeah, that Yuki one is really good at it. Of it, it's a do it to it one.
Oh, I'll have to go listen to it.
Might not be as big of a fan as I was of it, but it's good.
I mean, the song, I was like, oh, I was obsessed with that song when it first came out, and then it got old real quick. It got old so quick. I was like, oh, I'm tired of hearing it.
I was about to say, I kind of remember you having a tweet of like, we can just retire this song now or something. Maybe it wasn't you, but someone said that on Twitter.
Someone said, I'm no longer leaning with it or rocking with it or something. Wait, because it's a lean with it, rock. Yeah, someone said, I'm no longer leaning with it or rocking with it. Please stop.
That's actually really funny. That's hysterical.
Yeah.
No longer leaning or rocking with it. That's so funny.
Wait, how many times have you seen Excision now?
Oh, good question. A lot now. But again, it's been more so in like the last year.
Yeah.
Not even year, I guess, because technically things didn't start till April. But like then more than before. I definitely was a fan of him before, but I wasn't like I was going to a bunch of his like I wasn't going to like these curated shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
Dang, I gotta think about that because I've been to Lost Lands 3 times, so that's at least almost 9 times right there.
Yeah.
Because that's although I will say this year and the year prior I did switch up because I was seeing him a lot and I was like I gotta just like 1 year Good Vibrations was playing and I was a big Good Vibrations fan. They haven't done that back to back in a while, but I love when they do that back to back. Their music is very well together and they go really hard for it. So I'm like, I'm in on that. And 1 year they were facing off against Excision for his Friday set. And I was like, I'll see him the rest of the weekend. I'm going to that. And I went to half of that and I don't really that's irrelevant. But yeah, I saw only half of that. And then yeah. And but also at Lost Lands, he does a 2-hour set. So it's like I saw him twice on a Friday because he does 2 hours, which is just crazy to me that you can even do that. But I've seen him
over, do you think 15, 20?
Yeah, I'd have to say that now. Yeah, 100%.
How much do you think so like maybe Excision's number one fan, if we had to estimate, how many times do you think that person has seen him?
50 to 100.
Yeah.
If not 75 to 100. Let's even narrow. Yeah, I'm going to go 75 to 100. Easily. Yeah, easily. I
would love to know. If anyone knows someone that's seen Excision a lot, let's see if we can find the highest person.
We could definitely tweet this out because I know some people on my feed that would answer that. Yeah,
I'm so curious because it's like similar to like, you know, even though we don't like him Bass Nectar level, like people saw Bass Nectar so many times because they would like go travel around the world or wherever to go see him. So I feel like not comparing the two at all, but when it comes to fan bases in terms of like, you know, how many people are dedicated to going to see Excision, like if I'm sure there's fans out there that go to like every curated event, curated festival, get any chance to see him, you know?
I feel like now, I guess, yeah, I wouldn't consider myself one of those because I'm not like, oh, I have to go any chance I get. Like for me, it's like more of like, oh, this is a cool thing to go do, and I can go do other things around it at the time. Like, okay, I can go to Seattle. I've never been to Seattle. Let me go to
exactly.
I'll go to the show. I'll go check out Seattle. Maybe do a hike. Like that's how I look at things. I'm not like, oh, I'm going just for nothing against that. I don't want to make it. I just look at it differently. But yeah, I mean, I am going to Paradise Blue, his Cancun. But I'm also going because that's Cancun. I'm like, oh, I get away for a week.
Go get a vacation.
Yeah, get a vacation, do some excursions, you know, the cool tourist stuff.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But yeah, I've seen him a lot. But this was nothing. This blows everything I've seen out of the water. I will be honest. Like
really? I was gonna ask compared to like Lost Lands.
Yes, even Lost Lands. And I'm very fond of Lost Lands. It 100% blew that out of the water. In my opinion, it did. I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, his production, to be honest, this production was crazier than anything I've seen, period. I mean, any concert, any other curate event, and I haven't been to any other curate events. I know Liquid Stranger does a very good event. I never got into Bass Nectar back in the day, not to bring him up again, but just never did. So I never went to any of those events, and I don't have that comparison. But I've never been to, I did go to Millennium Trilogy. Like, that's my only other comparison. And definitely different. I don't know if it was because of the stadiums, there could be rules. I have no idea, but the production, as great as Millennium Trilogy was, did not compare to this. I didn't. I have no qualms about it. Nothing against either artist, but it was
watching
insane.
the live stream from home, the Millennium Trilogy, and same thing. It was underwhelming a little bit.
It really didn't, and I get what he was doing with it. So he it picked up every set. Like, every set got a little bit more, something else was added. And I do get that. It did make I will say the last set was by far superior production wise out of the other ones. And he had fire going everywhere. Like, if you were on the floor, you'd have fire behind you, fire in front of you. You're like, where is this? What's going on? But it did. It progressed. Whereas Excision was I'm on, boom, full throttle.
Boom.
It was, it was it's happening. It was by far, like I said, the most insane production I've seen, period. Over shows, festivals, other concerts I've been to, nothing compared to this. Just blew me away. I was like, I can't believe they're doing all this. I was just like, what is going on? But day one was great. The set, in my opinion, good Excision set, played a lot of the songs I think we were expecting from the new album and stuff like that, and some older ones that we've heard. Closed out day one. I should mention that real quick. For day one, he did blow out the speakers at Thunderdome. So that was something that was, we were all like, what's going, we heard it and the sound was like, we were like, oh, what's happening? He just stopped it and said, he always got on the mic and was like, too much bass for Thunderdome, and everyone's like, whoa! I mean, that's the thing, is they are all there for Excision, so they weren't exactly mad about it. It was almost like for me, I was a part of the year he blew out the speakers. For me, I was like, we were here, we saw it. It was I
feel like it's not a full Excision experience if there's not a blown out speaker.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. And it hasn't happened as far as I know, and I got to see it, so I'm a bigger fan than most people. But moving on. No. But it was a 15 minutes or so intermission, and he had only about 10 minutes left when he got the speakers back up and running, and he threw down, and then he did an extra 5 minutes or so of his usual bigger hits from the past, Rumble, Exterminate, the big visuals that everyone can think of. I'm trying to think of the other ones. What's the other one?
Was this before or after the new album dropped?
This was after, only by about a week.
Yeah. Pretty close, right?
About a week, very close. So that's I remember I had friends that wanted to come and couldn't, where they were like, make sure you get a video of Cough Drop for me. They wanted to hear those songs. But he did play his more generic set. I wouldn't, very bad word to describe it, but a set that we kind of, I know, I'm trying to think of the word, but sorry.
You knew what to expect.
Not, I mean,
kind of,
to an extent. But and then he played, like I said, his older songs that we all know and love, as fans. That's what got us into them. So those were there on that first day. The second day was, in my opinion, definitely different. Step up, going hard. Again, bringing in that new year, new Excision. This is the new curated event I'm bringing. But we'll get into that. I don't want to go too far ahead of myself. Day two, though, we'll jump in. Got there early again. Saw, was it Francis? That name is my eyes.
Francis Durrell.
Okay, sorry. My eyes were could not figure that out at all. Francis Durrell. He was pretty good. I was at the bar for that, so I kind of was half and half paying attention, if I'm honest.
More like a future bass.
Yes,
type artist.
I do remember there were a couple of songs where we were like, okay, we were into the melodic future bass vibe. So
yeah.
Ray Volpe is awesome. If you have not checked out Ray Volpe, or Volpe as he says on the mic, but go check him out. Highly recommend. I think he's one of the biggest guys to be up and coming. I think he'll be very, very big on the.
I feel like he's been underrated for a while.
Yes. I mean, this set confirmed it for me. I was like, it was definitely, again, besides, I mean, for me at least, besides Excision, it was the best set on day 2. No doubt about it. That day 2 though was very stacked compared to the other day. Hessian Bomber afterwards. I'm not a big Hessian Bomber fan. I know a lot of people that are. Me personally, not. So I was actually in the back. Decided to sit in the stands just to check out the production from there. It was cool to see. We sat right at the tippy top and just watched. Dion Timmer back-to-back company. Not a back-to-back I've seen, but was excited for. Music went very well together. They also had a couple new songs coming out as well together. So that'll be exciting to see when those are released. But really good set overall. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess it up because I just posted a tweet about the other day. Everyone says Aliens. I know it's Aliens.
Aliens. They're from Atlanta.
They are from Atlanta. ATL baby. They had a great set. There's someone, in my opinion, I feel like have just kind of exploded out of nowhere. Like I remember seeing them during the day at Ubby Dubby 10 months ago, and they've just gotten to that point where they're now a second or third act. But they really brought it that set. I was with some of the New York people for that set, and we were like, they're throwing down, they're hammering it hard. So that was definitely a great set. They did good. Liquid Stranger.
I actually saw them in 2017.
Where at?
In Austin.
In Austin?
Yeah.
It's always cool.
Or 2018. It was 2018. They're pretty good.
They are good. I mean, I think they're good. But it's always good to see that, like, in my opinion, I love seeing that progression. Like when you see an artist go from daytime act to now I'm second in line behind the headliner. Like, I think that's awesome. Yeah. I can remember, I'm not the biggest Rez fan anymore, but I saw her during the day at like 4:30 one time. And like, we were all like jamming to it. Like, this is going hard. We love this. And then next thing you know, like 3 months later, she's headlining. I was like, oh, wow. I saw her before before that got, those tickets got really expensive. I saw her. That
was like me with Millennium and BTSM and a lot of other ones in the Arizona scene.
Yeah. I got blessed with BTSM too. We saw them at like Spring Awakening one time, and again playing at like 3:30, and we only went because of the name. We were like, this is an interesting name, let's go check it out. And then it was good. We were like, we like this, like this is great. But to continue on, Liquid Stranger. Yeah, this is the first full set I've gotten to see of Liquid in the past year, really, I think at all. He's always played against somebody else I want to go see, so I end up splitting half his set or just not going. It's unfortunate, but like he played against Elenium at Ubi. I wanted to see Elenium. He's played against, who did he play against at Lost Lands? Oh my goodness, Ganja, I think it was, if I'm thinking correctly. Could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. I apologize. But good set. I was really hoping that they were going to turn on the full production for Liquid Stranger as just to do it, and because everyone, that's always been kind of like a head-to-head comparison, like, oh, Liquid versus Excision, even though they're totally two different styles. But I was hoping they would do full production just to see that. They did not, unfortunately, but still overall really good set. The thing I love about Liquid Stranger, I will say this, is he knows how to get you ready for the next artist, which I think is something that a lot of other artists, not that it's a bad thing, but they just don't do it as much as he does it. And he does a really good job of going, the last 20 minutes or so, and he'll say like, all right, for Excision, for instance, he did say, I'm going to ramp it up these next 20 minutes to get you ready for Excision. Like, he started out experimental, a little bit more wonky, and then ramped it up to more dubsteppy and got us ready for Excision. And it was really, really good how he did that. And I've seen him other times where, like, I think Ganja White Knight was on after him, and he was like, all right, I'm going to actually tone this down a bit and get you ready for some Ganja White Knight. And it was just, can't say anything bad about it. I love that. I love that he does that. I think that should be something that's more in the scene. Don't have to do it, don't waste your whole set for it, but to play you into the next artist, I think that's awesome. And he did a good job. He brought out Taboo for 2 songs, which was cool. I'm a big Taboo fan. He's definitely someone else I think that's on the up and coming with that more experimental side of things. So that was cool to see him up there. And of course, really great trippy visuals. Excision day 2. I decided to leave both of my groups for Excision day 2 to start out with, and I ran up to this top of the stage, not top of the stage, top of the bleachers. So I went to the bleachers where none of them were, and I got to see the full production. That was one of the things I wanted to do for that weekend. Highly recommend you guys, if you go, to try to do that. It's just crazy how there's a different view wherever you are in the event, and you don't necessarily notice it too much at a festival, but in a enclosed dome like you do, especially the way how he curates it. Like I mentioned, the block around and everything. So like from the stands, you get an entirely different production. You see everything, but it's not hitting you. You're not encompassed in it. It's just you're seeing it. And then you go into the middle where my friend group was. I was with them for a bit, and I'm seeing everything come at me from all different sides. And then I go up front and get the high energy and the clearer visuals with my other friends. But day 2 was a crazy set, a lot more pyrotechnics and a lot more pyrotechnics. He had some fireworks stuff. I'm trying to think of what else was different. Definitely some newer drops and newer IDs thrown in. It was really weird that, like, I don't know how to explain it other than like that set. You know how, like, I was trying to explain this. This maybe will make sense or maybe it won't. But like, you know how when like things are really boring, they take a while and you're dragging. Okay. His second day 2 set was like, it went on for a while, but in like a good way. Like it was like, we looked at our phone. We're like, oh shit, we got like 20 minutes left. And then it was like, check again. And it was like, oh wait, we still have like another 10 minutes. Like, it was just weird how, like, I don't know. The music was very, very just the way he transitioned. He's always good. He's Excision. That's why he's so big. But like, it was just different, in my opinion, this second set than I've experienced before. In a good way, again, not in a bad way. He wasn't boring. But great set. That ended. And again, I have nothing bad about this event to say. It was just all around great. The production was insane. Artists all threw down. I didn't have any bad experiences with anybody there. Great meeting a ton of people. I do want to say that ton of people came up to me actually, which is really, I'm not used to that. So people were like, oh, you're Babs. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, so thank you guys. Fun. It is fun. It was nice to talk to some of you all. I hung out with some of you. We caught up, vice versa, and whatnot. So I just want to say thank you for that. That meant a lot to me.
Did they say where they knew you from?
I got a lot of TikTok.
Oh,
so
it's always interesting when you get like, oh, you're the girl from TikTok, or you're the guy from TikTok.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was really weird. It's newer, and I greatly appreciate it. I get really shy because I have no idea what to say, but I just want to say thank you. It means a lot. So for those that did that, I appreciate you. Quick conclusion to my story. After Excision, so it's like 1 a.m. We drive home, and we immediately pack and go straight to the airport and catch our flight at 6 a.m. And it was just as bad as it sounds. It was horrible. And then to top it off, on my flight on the way home, my first flight
on a Sunday.
This is on a Sunday. My flight on the way home is, the first one's like 5.5 hours or something. 4.5 hours. And I'm like, great. And I get stuck in the middle seat, and I'm like, no, I just want to sleep.
No,
I just want to sleep, and I'm stuck in the middle.
Was it seat. Southwest?
Delta.
Or did you pick your seat?
I was flying Delta, I believe. Yeah, Delta. Didn't get to pick my seat. On the way coming into town, the plane was empty, and I was in one of those. I've never been in one like those Boeing 747s where it's 3 seats and 5 in the middle. I was like, I've never been. Where are we going? Are we flying halfway across the world right now? Like, what's going on? And they just flew us to Seattle from Atlanta in one of those. And no one was on the plane. So I just sprawled out, and I woke up at one point, and this is so fun. I woke up and I looked over, and I was in one of the 3 rows. I look over, and there's a guy fully laying on one of the 5 rows, like just fully laying on it. Like, I was like, do you, man? I respect it, but
living the life.
It was funny to see. But yeah, on the way back, got stuck in the middle.
Oh my gosh.
And then next flight, I was in the middle again, so I didn't sleep at all. And then I got into Charlotte, and I had an hour and a half drive home. So I was beat.
What a long travel day. Oh my gosh.
I was so exhausted. I've never been, I must be getting old. I've never been so exhausted for that long. I did not really feel like I fully recuperated till Friday. Like, I mean, like I woke up Friday and I was like, I feel like I finally caught up on sleep. Like I finally got what I needed. So don't recommend doing that ever again. But mine was also super last minute. So you do what you do.
Yeah. Raving as you get older just gets tougher.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to see things more and more. I mean, like I went and play. This has nothing to do with raving, but it does affect me now. Like I went to play basketball the other day, and my ankle was killing me afterwards. and then I go to play football like 5 days later, and I do something to my knee, and now I have a knee brace. I've never had a knee brace in my life. Now I've had to wear a knee brace the last week. Just like all day yesterday, I had it off, and like 8 hours into my day, my knee starts killing me, and I'm like, fuck, like what happened to me?
You're turning into an old man.
I know, within like a week, like 2 weeks, like Excision just beat it out of me, and now I'm old. But yeah,
that's funny.
Any questions? I know I went on a long spiel and explained Thunderdome as best I could, and as best I
guess. So someone commented this on a TikTok that I did about festival etiquette, and they were like, oh, it's ironic that you used a Rez song for this, because Rez's fans are the worst when it comes to crowd etiquette. And I was like, interesting. So I'm curious, with the Excision type vibe, is it like the most plur crowd you're going to be in, or is it hit or miss, or were the vibes on point because it's an Excision event? What was the crowd like?
Yeah, I mean, not that Rez is remotely mainstream, especially because of her unique sound, but believe it or not, I have had a really bad experience at Rez sets. So I cannot.
I'm trying to I don't really think I have, and I've seen her a lot. So I was trying to think about it.
At Izu, I was sitting on the ground in my group, and someone just like we're sitting, and they just walked in between. I was talking to the girl, like me and my camera, and he just walked in between us, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, and he was like, you guys need to not sit. And I was like, we're not even in the crowd, bro. Like we weren't even in the crowd. We were on the outside for that reason. For that reason, we wanted to sit. But I don't know. I have had other experiences. It's funny that they said that.
I know.
I did not have any bad anything. I didn't experience anything at the event. And it could be because it's an Excision created event. Or it just could be like not, I still think dubstep is not as much as the scene is growing. I just don't see it that it's as mainstream as other scenes are in the EDM genre sphere. When you go to dubstep, you're kind of going because you want dubstep. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like just in that sense. Like, I don't have many friends of mine that don't listen to EDM that are like, let's go to the Excision show this weekend. Like none of them, none of them. They're like, who is that? And I'm like, oh, I play it. And they're like, I'll pass. Like they're like, no, thank you. So it's weird, but yeah, no, I had no issues. I mean,
it could also be a Pacific Northwest thing too.
It's possible. But I mean, at Lost Lands, I would say the same. I haven't had any bad experience at Lost Lands. I mean, others might have, but I haven't yet. And I've 3 years running with good intentions, knock on wood. That doesn't occur. I won't hit my desk, my light doesn't fall over again. But
right.
But no, I mean, people were super nice. We had a group of people we met, and I mean, they were fanning us without us even saying anything. We were helping them. They were the 2 girls that we met were super nice. I mean, the one girl was like, I'll go get you guys water so you can stay and watch the show. Like, we're like, what? Because they weren't allowing hydration packs in. I should mention that. They weren't allowing anything unless it was clear, just the stadium rules. So like we couldn't bring in hydration packs. You could bring in a water bottle. They let you bring that in and all that, and we would and just go fill it up at the water station. But yeah, everyone was super nice. Had no issues. So
that's good. Yeah, I was just mainly curious because that comment made me laugh. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Rather like the irony.
Yeah, I wonder which. And it's not like it's the artist's fault, I don't think.
No, there's a lot of different factors, but I think where a lot of people are feeling it is in like the Southern California events. And I hate to say it, but like just get out of the Insomniac bubble and go to some other events. That's my tea for today.
I don't even know if it's like, yeah. I don't even know if it's Insomniac or if it's just that area.
Well, I think it's the Insomniac SoCal events. Let's just like filter it that way.
But do you think if it wasn't an Insomniac event, you think you'd still get that crowd in that area? Because I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Travel people. There's nice people around the U.S. Go see them.
Yeah. Yeah. The only like whenever I've gone to California, like I just haven't really had the best crowd experiences, I feel like. But in Texas, I've had great times. Vegas has been fine. A lot. EDC was different for a lot of people, but that's because of the sets a lot of people picked, probably.
Yeah, EDC. I will say that Vegas has hit or miss. I've had great times in Vegas. I've had not so fun times in Vegas. Lots to do with the set. You are right. Yeah. God,
I was seeing the feedback from EDC 2021, and I was like, was I at the same festival?
Yeah, I mean, I have PTSD from like Skrillex. That was so uncomfortable.
Oh,
so annoying.
I bet.
Let's just tell the whole festival like that this surprise set is happening.
It's a safety hazard.
Yeah. Oh my God. Everyone, their mother was at that set. I don't know. People that weren't, I'm like so shocked you weren't, but also good for you. They're like, yeah, it was empty at my stage. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like everyone was there. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, Thunderdome sounds awesome.
Amazing. Great things to say. Ade's gonna go next year, 2023.
You can keep manifesting that, but we'll see. Maybe if Excision brings we don't really have good venues here in Texas, but maybe if he somehow decides to do like a yeehaw thing here in Texas, maybe I would go.
Excision presents the Yeehaw event.
The Yeehaw Dome.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me.
The Giddy Up Dome.
Very off topic, but today driving home, we see a billboard for we have a bass tournament come into our area.
A what?
Pro bass tournament,
Oh, fishing.
Pro bass fishing, yes. Pro bass tournament. They fish on this lake. They do it every year in this area that I live in, and they do it on it's like Lake Hartwell or something, but it's big. Whole town shuts down for this event for 3 days. And my buddy was like, the bass tournament, and then blah blah blah, and then we started making jokes about like having a fish themed festival called like bass, and then obviously we joked around like Bass Canyon, like instead of the fish are like the main theme.
That's like how on TikTok when you do the automated voice or they say bass or they say bass.
They can't say it. Check out all this bass.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Any last minute questions? Anything?
No, I don't think so. I'm good.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for listening to my Thunderdome story and my experience. Hopefully you guys get to experience it yourselves. Hopefully maybe I pushed you in the direction of going to attend one of these curated Excision events. That'd be awesome. But without further ado, please subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review on Spotify if you can. We now have that availability and that option. And check us out on our TikTok and Instagram feeds now, as we are posting more clips for you guys there.
Woo.
That's all we got for you today. Peace.
Bye.